Burbank.
What's going on, everybody? I'm coming at you with a different video, and we're doing our part 2 of our Burbank City Council interview series. We're here at the Chandler Bike Path, and we're about to meet up with Judie Wilke, and we're gonna meet her, get to know her a little bit better, and know more who she is, and of course, most importantly, what her plans are for Burbank. So, you've met, I think you met Judy at the Tallyrand.
Yeah, I talked to her. I met her at Tallyrand at the town hall. A lot of really interesting questions and answers happened, and we're going to get into more of that right now so you can see what her plans are and what her future vision is for Burbank as city council member.
Sounds like a plan, so let's go right ahead and meet Judy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am here with the woman of the hour, Judie Wilke. How are you? Thank you for doing this.
I'm great. Are you kidding me? Thank you for doing this. This is so fun. I love it.
Oh, I love it too. I'm really excited. But a little bit about who you are. You're from Burbank, right?
Yes, I am. I came to Burbank when I was 3 years old and went to Burbank schools. I went to Horseman Elementary School when that was a school, and then John Muir Middle School, and I graduated from Burbank High in 1986.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Okay, cool. And as far as like the Burbank City Council race, what made you decide that you wanted to run?
Well, I worked for the city for 32 years, and I just retired in December, and I retired a little earlier than I may have otherwise to help raise my granddaughter. So I'm really excited about that and loving every minute of that. And I have another one on the way, which is exciting.
Oh, very nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, super excited. But I'm running because I really, over the last 6 years or so, I've really seen a change in the climate of our city. The things that are happening in that council chamber feels a little more politically charged than it ever has been in the past. Sometimes we've lost common sense. And I really feel like I can just kind of come in there, bring my 32 years of experience of understanding the city. I spent those 32 years listening and learning to people. I feel like I have a pretty good pulse on the community. And I want to be a voice for everyone. Right now, I don't think that everybody's voice is being heard, and I think that that's incredibly important. That's what we should be doing as local government representatives. Everyone matters, and that's important to me. Common sense is really important to me, and I really just want to take the politics out of it. There's not anything that local government does, from potholes to quality drinking water. There's really not a liberal or a conservative way to do that, right?
Right.
It's about government, and it's about doing good government. And I have spent 32 years understanding that, and I now want to bring that in a new leadership role.
Yeah, and that's one thing that is very evident when we were at the Tallyrand meeting with you and Chris. Again, we took a gamble. I've never heard of you before, never met you, but just something that really struck me upon seeing you and Chris together and talking is just how much you genuinely care. You could tell, even just like hearing you speak like the last minute or so, you can definitely see and feel that you care and that you want to contribute and you want to help and you want to be constructive. And I feel like that's a very beautiful thing, and I feel like it's something that's very lost and rare today. And thank you so much for sharing that bit. But yeah, I guess we can walk down the road down over here and just continue on.
Okay.
Cool.
Sounds great.
Yeah, so here we are on the Chandler Bike Path. I wanted to ask you about what's called the Livable Community initiative. Can you tell us more about that and what that entails?
So I happened to see that the city council actually talked about this and is considering it. And what it has to do with is taking existing spaces and creating housing with commercial and retail. And so some of the locations that you would be looking at is like along Magnolia Boulevard, Burbank Boulevard, and taking some of those buildings that are now about 2 stories high and making them 4 or 5 stories to encompass housing. And the whole purpose of that is that you would create housing in a location where there would be all of the necessities that we need, which would be grocery stores, pharmacies, dry cleaners, things that we would need so that we can minimize the amount of walking and things that people would have to do. So I don't know that much about it, and I really don't know that our community knows that much about it. So I think if this is something we want to look at it, because it can have an impact to people who live along Magnolia, Burbank, and other thoroughfares here, if we were to change the nature of that. And so I really think we've got to do some more vetting, get the people involved, probably go to the locations where we might be contemplating these types of things to talk to the residents, see what their thoughts are, and how that might be something that the community is, willing or maybe not willing to look at.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people out there who have never heard of it and don't know what it means. I haven't looked into it in too much detail, but I just recently heard about it, so I know it exists. And like, I live nearby, and like a lot of my friends do as well, and this is something that would impact all of us greatly, whether it comes to like parking and local businesses, and just how like the overall experience is in Burbank. So next I wanted to ask you about the Starlight Bowl, because we all like the Starlight Bowl. So what's going on there?
So I love the Starlight Bowl too. And when I was the Parks and Recreation Director, that was a facility that I had the honor of overseeing. So what's really fantastic about the Starlight Bowl is that many, many years ago, it was a place where there was some pretty cool bands that played there, right? So people in the 70s recall that. And I think it's a space that could really do that again. Recently, we've had to be limited in some respects by what you can do there because the facilities are just not up to par with where they need to be in order to accommodate big crowds. We need to have better restroom facilities, better vendors for the food and that kind of thing. And also, you've got to contemplate an easier way to get up that space. Now, obviously it's on a hillside and there's no way we're going to make that 100% easy, right? But there are probably things we could do to make that space better. And I will tell you, when I was the Park and Rec Director, we created a really beautiful model of what that could look like. And it could be a really exciting space for the community. The problem is it's a lot of money, right? Yeah. And we have a lot of infrastructure in our community that needs attention. And so it's priorities. We have to make some decisions about what are our priorities. I always hoped we would find some partner, one of the studios or, one of the music companies or, somebody who already does this to maybe partner with the city so that we could have a private-public partnership on that facility and make it something really spectacular for our community because it is a hidden gem.
Yeah, that'd be amazing for that were to happen because it needs repairs, right? And
yes, and that's part of the problem right now is that with new laws and everything, at some point when you have to start doing so, like let's just say that probably the thing that's most vulnerable right now is the seating, and the minute you have to repair that seating is the minute all of the Americans with Disabilities Act requirements come into play, and that becomes a lot more than just replacing the seats, right? So we're probably getting close to having to make some really big decisions about the Starlight Bowl. And I think that, I think it's one of those things we did vet it with the community when we were out looking at what could we potentially do there when we had a consultant. And I will say, by and large, the community is very supportive of it. Even the people who live up there and are impacted by it when we have concerts and when you have the parking and the driving of all of those neighborhoods up there, because there's really only a couple of ways to get in and get out. But I will say that the community is very supportive of it. And I think people want to see real good bands there, which we could. It's just we don't have the budget at this point to make that stuff happen. So we've had some, we've had Rick Springfield, we've had John Waite, we've had some fun things over the years, but in general, we do a lot of cover bands. And I think people have an appetite for something a little bit more exciting.
Yeah.
And I think that our community, we could do it. And I think we've got this perfect space to do it. It's money and priorities.
Yeah. I mean, it's such an amazing location because this is like the entertainment capital of the world and the country. And we want to keep our entertainment venues in Burbank, right?
Absolutely.
To keep everybody, going here to see bands rather than going to, I don't know, Agora Hills or somewhere else.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, as far as just so people kind of get a little bit more information about you, what is some of your favorite food? What do you enjoy to eat? Like, let's say you want to enjoy yourself and you have a go-to favorite food. What's some of your what's your favorite food?
So if I just go general categories, I love Mediterranean food.
Okay.
I absolutely love Italian food.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you, I like a good, Hal and Ray's or, Dave's, chicken at
Right.
some point too.
Hey,
I
there you go.
gotta be honest.
No, that's
you
great.
know, that can be good too every once in a while if I want to, do something not so good for myself.
Absolutely. And let's say it's after a long, hard week. What are some of your favorite activities or hobbies that you like to do?
So I have just always been a person who I love to exercise, and that can be a million different ways because for me, stress, sometimes we don't even realize we have stress, and I feel that exercise just kind of balances me, right? So I love to do spin. I used to run a lot, but I messed my knees up, and I used to do a lot of half marathons and stuff, and that's just gotten rough. But I love, riding my bike out in the open. I love taking walks. I walk my dogs every morning.
Okay.
What kind of dogs do you have? A Labradoodle and a little, she's a Bichon mix Maltipoo kind of thing.
Okay.
So she's a cute little girl.
Okay.
And so I love walking them, and I love taking hikes. I love to just get out into the nature and just really just, enjoy it, right? Because sometimes we just don't, life gets so busy and we just don't take the time to enjoy it, right? When you do those things, it just reminds us of how lucky we are, to live in this world and to just be centered in that respect. So I love to read too. I probably don't find as much time to read as I would like to. But my other favorite hobby is my granddaughter. I mean, she's so fun, and I love taking care of her and spending time with her, and I'm looking forward to having that with my next little granddaughter on the way. So
congratulations.
Yeah,
that's
thanks.
really awesome. Since we are in Burbank and it is the media capital of the world, what are some of your favorite movies that you absolutely love?
Oh my gosh.
I know there's so many to think about.
Yeah, there are. There's so many fantastic movies, but listen, any Reese Witherspoon movie, I'm in. I would watch it 100 times over. Love them. I'm a huge fan of The Wizard of Oz. How can you not be, right? I love, Toy Story. I love all of the, Disney stuff. And of course, I'm going to love, Back to the Future, which was filmed here in Burbank, as well as Jurassic Park, which was filmed down on San Fernando. I mean, those are just fun because you see, wow, they, turned San Fernando into this, crazy scene and all of that. And so those are fun movies to watch too. But there's so many great movies.
So many
That's such a hard question.
Yeah, no, I know. But I really appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah.
And I guess to wrap this up, what would you say is a favorite childhood memory that you have in Burbank?
Oh gosh, I have so many fantastic memories of growing up in Burbank. The park that I grew up in was Brace Park, and I used to go there all the time and play in that park. I was a huge sports person, so I played basketball and softball in the city's parks and rec leagues. I have so many great memories from that. The coaches that I had, to the friends I got to play with, and just so much of that. But I will share this because this is so funny. It's funny, not funny, but my mom, I was born in 1968. I'm pretty sure Jaws came out in 1978.
Yeah.
There was a theater in town here, the Cornell. So that was where we used to go for movies. My mom took me to see Jaws, and I was 10 years old.
Wow.
And I literally still am scared to go in the ocean from that whole experience.
Wow.
But I remember that so vividly, being in that theater with my mom, watching that movie, and just thinking, oh my gosh, right? And it has literally changed my whole life since I was a little girl. I was afraid to go on pools. I was afraid in the bathtubs, all sorts of stuff. But yeah, my mom liked to do fun things like that. I guess she thought I could handle it, and I couldn't.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I guess that's the last question, closing statement. What is something you would like to say to all of the residents in Burbank right now, since the election's pretty much as this time of filming, we're 9 days away.
Yeah.
What would you like to say?
I just want people to know that I'm running because I love Burbank. That is the bottom line here. I care so much about this community, and I care about all of the people in this community. And I'm just passionate about doing the right thing, right? I want to make Burbank better, and I'm here for Burbank. I'm going to listen to everyone, and I'm going to, read all the reports, understand the facts, do my research, and I'm going to make decisions that are in the best interest of this community. And I really just want people to know that that's who I am. I'm here to really be a good representative and steward of our government, right? I take that seriously.
Right.
And I know the importance of it, and I know how it affects, everyone's life on a daily basis. Right. And I just want people to know that I care about them.
Right.
And I'm passionate about this community we call Burbank. I love this place. and I want to make it the best it can be. I really do, and that's why I'm running. It's no, I don't have a personal agenda. You know, I just feel like I've got you know, so many years of experience in me that I can just bring that immediately, hit the ground running day one. There's no learning curve. There's no any of that, right? Which means I can work hard for you,
right,
out the gate, and continue to do that, right? And I love, like, the Tallyrand was so fun, and I'm so glad I met you guys there.
Awesome.
And like the whole thought, you know, you asked that question, and like, I want to be that council member that has more engagement with the community, right? Like, go out into the community and talk to people, especially when we're contemplating projects and different things. We need to hear from people, because people don't, you know, they got lives, they're busy, they have families, they have so much going on, and they don't know sometimes. And so it's our responsibility to help them know, and to help them know what's happening, and we have to do that, right? And we can't just think that people are watching council meetings on Tuesday nights, or that's how they're finding out their information, because they're not. You know, and so I just feel really strongly about that.
No, and it definitely comes across that way. And I mean, that was just something that Jacob and I were really impressed with you and Chris at the Tallyrand, was just that you guys just answered everybody's question with just a lot of poise, grace, and it was just a breath of fresh air. And I can't thank you again for doing that, and then also just to wrap things up, just to do this with us. And it's an honor, it's a privilege, and I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much, Judy.
Listen, I can't thank you enough. This was super fun, and I'm so glad to have met you. And I look forward to this you know, friendship going up in some really fun ways, and I look forward to doing some fun things with you in the future.
Definitely.
You know?
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's a wrap, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this video, be sure to like this video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Feel free to share. And as always, we'll see you on the next one.